Hey, Mortgage Coach community, Dave Savage here. I am sitting here with Kevin Erickson and Nikki, his wife, part of a team. And we're going to talk about how they're using Mortgage Coach and how they're having success with past customers in today's market. So, Kevin, I don't know whether you and Nikki wants to go first, but tell us a little bit about your practice and where you guys are at.
Well, we're in the growth mode, so we're adding team members to our team. Mortgage Coach is our backbone for the educational process for clients. So it's nice we can go back and do mortgage reviews for clients. We've got clients calling us saying, hey, we're going to be selling our home, buying a new home. We can quickly put together a Mortgage Coach and kind of say, hey, here's what the transaction looks like, and then kind of tweak it from there. So they're already used to it, so we spend 10, 15 minutes really going over that report in detail with the borrower initially, and then once they kind of learn how to read that report, it's just going over the specifics of each program on a go forward. So great tool, something that we use with 100% of our leads, prospects, as well as past clients. So
love it. And where are you, and what kind of business are you doing? Like, how many loans last month?
Yeah, last month we did 9 loans for about $2 million. Last year we did 70 loans for about $16 million, and that was with the transition. We also had a transition at the beginning of this year to a new mortgage company. So we're now landed at Eagle Home Mortgage, and we're ready to go. We're probably between now and the end of the year going to double our production from so far this year, even being in Minnesota with the climate. So. Which is good.
Good for you. And now, do you and your wife, Nikki, do you guys work as a team, do different parts of the process? Maybe explain that a little bit, and any parts of that relate to how you use Mortgage Coach.
Yeah, I can let Nikki talk to that.
Okay. So most of our business is done, with the both of us present, either by talking to the clients initially or throughout the process. Each one of us takes on different roles. Kevin and I we both use Mortgage Coach on a daily basis and to quite an extent, and we work in tandem to understand what the communication is with the borrower. So it is truly a team effort at the end of the day. Kevin does a lot of the upfront work in talking about Mortgage Coach and getting people introduced to the initial product, whereas I do some follow-up and talk about options and really help the customer focus in on the choice that works best for them.
Now, what are your thoughts in terms of, does Mortgage Coach take extra time, or is it something that when you really look at how it helps your process, it actually saves time? How would you speak to that?
That's a great question. And, up front, it probably takes a little bit more time, but over the course of the entire transaction, it saves us a ton of time. From the time the borrower begins even thinking about buying a home, understanding, what the cost is, what the payment looks like, what the interest rates are, understanding different loan programs. So we spend a lot of time educating up front so that once they find that perfect home, it's really, okay, can you send over that a quick report for this home? I think I found the house. Everything from seller paid closing costs to not having seller paid closing costs. What's the difference in the bottom line for the consumer really at the end of the day? So.
Right. Now, we have, different folks use Mortgage Coach. They come from different reasons. I think everybody feels that it's going to help them convert a lead into a loan better. Some think it helps increase referrals. Where do you see the most value come from the fact that you give every family a total cost analysis?
Conversion. Our conversion percentages are pretty high. So when we have somebody comes in, it's really hard to gauge because everybody's at a different point when they come in. But of the people that we know that we win or lose, we're getting about an 80% conversion rate.
And
Go ahead.
Mortgage Coach is an important part of that?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I mean, it gives us a competitive advantage. There's not a lot of people in our marketplace that are, hey, I'll give you a piece of paper. Here's the loan that you qualify for, but it doesn't really give them any detail.
Right. So it's a better experience in the market. Well, by the way, that's another thing I hear all the time is that, some borrowers like the total cost analysis, some don't. They're just happy they qualify, or some don't like technology. Some loan officers, aren't into technology. I mean, I always kind of take it from this perspective that everybody wants a Mortgage Coach. It's just how you deliver it and how you explain it, it does vary. And someone who's not mobile centric, maybe I print it out for them. But what's your
Yep.
take on, it sounds like you're in a market where not everybody's technology centric, but everybody gets it. So how do you kind of tailor that?
You want to answer?
Yeah, so I think what's most important to us is making sure that the customer is educated on the options that they have available to them. And we use Mortgage Coach to facilitate that. So whether it's by sending them, having them download the mortgage app, or to send it to them via just a link on email or a PDF, or to hand it to them personally and we go through it page by page. It's really important that they understand what the numbers mean and why we put it together the way that we do. Really what we focus on is not only a strategy for them, just to purchase a home, but also what that looks like to them, 1 year down the road, 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road. And that's really the feature that regardless of whether they love technology and have all that, technological thoughts, they love that they can see what their mortgage is going to do for them in the next 5-10 years, and depending on how long they're planning on being in the house. So that part is universal throughout the education that we provide to each and every one of our clients. They absolutely love that part.
I love that. No wonder you closed 5 loans for past customers last month. It's because you deliver great service and people come back. And anybody who's watching this, I ask you, how many loans did you close for a past client last month? And I'll bet, when I ask that question, even the best loan officers in the country, well, 1, 2, 3, it's not 5, and 6. And I also ask everybody who's watching this, how many past clients do you have? And you should be getting a pull through of about 6% per year. So, do the math, take 6% divided by how many past customers you have. That's how many you should do per year. And then divide by 12, that's how many you should do per month. And if your past customer pull-through rate is not 6% or higher, you're sitting on, just a massive gold mine of opportunity. So anyways, that's good. So let me ask one more question. I like to keep these, 10-minute-ish interviews, but think of Mortgage Coach as like a fish lure, and like typical loan officers give the fee worksheet. It's like one hook. It's not great bait. Mortgage Coach, you've got a few hooks. It's beautiful. But what are the features of Mortgage Coach? When you think of like it's a good looking lure for a family with multiple, hooks, what would be the features of Mortgage Coach that you think help convert the most?
Oh, where do we begin? The mobile feature. I mean, the one thing that we get all the time is we do loans outside of Minnesota. So we've got a client down in Arizona, and we can jump on the website at the same time, walk through it. We can highlight certain fields, and at first their response is, "Wait, what, are you doing that?" And once they figure it out, they love it. So it's one of those things where you can actually go through just as if you're in person and kind of walk through each of the steps, which makes a huge difference. It earns a lot of trust. And at the end of the day, it's really delivering whatever that is that you promised.
So the fact that it's mobile, the live interaction,
yeah,
what are some other features that you like that help?
we can be sitting here with a client in our office and change gears very quickly. So we can change gears as we're talking to them and saying, okay, here's based on what you're just telling us, we can tweak that to what they're looking at, and they can exactly see bottom line dollar, what does that mean to them? Buying down rates, sharing the difference in interest rates. So that comparison tool is very key.
Got it. So the options, visual. Nikki, you were going to say something?
I also like the fact that our referral partners really enjoy the Mortgage Coach as well. A lot of our referral partners, a lot of our business comes from the financial planner side, and the fact that we can take that mortgage and do a side-by-side comparison, 2 options, and draw that out over however many years really helps the financial planner on their side help the borrower also plan on the asset side of it as well, which is a huge feature and a really good selling point for the financial planner as well, because they are involved in they know what's going on as well, and they can help the borrower make a good decision.
Yeah, that makes a good point. Now, again, most Mortgage Coach loan officers get most of their business from referrals, from realtors. They leave a lot of money on the table with their past customers, and they leave a lot of money on the table if they had some strategic financial planning relationships. And again, realtor purchase business is a big opportunity, but there's a lot of other opportunities. That's a really good point. So let's wrap up around this concept. Most loan officers I talk to that either know about Mortgage Coach but don't use it, or have it but don't use it enough. They're like, it's hard to do, it takes too long, and some of my borrowers don't want it. I think you've already spoken to the fact that everybody wants it. It's just a question of how do you approach that conversation. It's tailored to the family. But what's your take on learning to use it? Do you feel like it's easy to use? How any advice you have for loan officers that haven't started doing it
It's
yet?
very easy to use. You just have to take the time to learn it. And once you learn it and it makes sense, you can really do pretty much anything with it. Debt reduction. I mean, there's so many things that we can do with it from a standpoint of bettering the borrower situation and helping them understand what they're getting themselves into at the end of the day. What? If they don't want to use it, don't use it. It's great because that's less competition for us.
Yeah, right. Do you agree that I always, when I lead and teach, that it's like you just got to do 10 total cost analysis. And, if you're really bad with technology and you have horrible keyboard skills, maybe it's going to take you 15 or 20. But somewhere between 10 TCAs and 15, and I don't care how much you like or dislike technology or how good you are at typing or not, you're going to be able to do a total cost analysis pretty easily. You agree with that?
Yep.
I think it takes us at this point less than 5 minutes to do one from beginning to end.
Depending on complexity.
Depending on the complexity of it. It doesn't take us very long at all at this point.
Yeah.
So anybody who's listening to this, if you've got a takeaway or a reminder, like I should be calling my past customers, I should be doing this, like below, share this with other mortgage friends of yours. And it's been a great conversation. I think, and also if you're watching this and you're not giving every family a total cost analysis, my guess is you haven't done 10 or 20 of them yet. Do 10 or 20, put in the work. The first one's the hardest. Every time you do another one, it gets easier. And once you've done north of 20, it saves you time. 5 minutes or less, and it's a time saver. So Kevin, I'm going to see you 2 weeks from now. Nikki, I look forward to meeting you. And really appreciate you taking time to tell your story, share some ideas with the greater Mortgage Coach community.
Absolutely. Thanks, Dave.
Take care, you guys.
You too. Bye.